Okay, we left off saying that Aristotle's book, The Nicomachean Ethics, is about practical wisdom. Just a little bit of background here on Aristotle. Nicomachus was likely Aristotle's son who was taking lecture notes. Aristotle was giving these as a lecture, and this is compiled likely by his son, so that's why it's called the Nicomachean Ethics. Also, just a little background on who Aristotle is. Aristotle was Macedonian Greek, I said right around the 4th century BC, and he was Plato's student, Plato's best student, Plato's favorite student. And if you notice, and I'll try to put this up here, I'm not sure if I can figure this out with the video, but I'll try to put a picture up of this. If you go to the Vatican, there's Raphael's School of Athens, and right at the center it shows it's a portrait or a picture by Raphael from the Renaissance, and it shows all the philosophers. It's called the School of Athens. There's different philosophers all over the place, but at the very center it has Plato and Aristotle, and you'll notice Plato is the older guy because he's Aristotle's teacher. He's got the long beard, and he's pointing up, and Aristotle, a little younger, is going like this and pointing down. And the reason for that is that Aristotle's philosophy is often, Aristotle's often called the philosopher of common sense because there's something really practical about Aristotle, and there's something really intuitive about Aristotle. He says something, and it's very down to earth. It's really down here. It's not like Plato, where he's thinking in the other world. He's thinking of the forms. Aristotle says, no, it's right here, and that's what really wisdom is for Aristotle. Aristotle has this notion in the Nicomachean Ethics of phronesis, or prudence, or what we could simply call practical wisdom. And that wisdom has to do with, very simply, making choices. Making choices. Think about it. When we use this is how we use the word wise today. We say, oh, that was very wise to you. Or that was very wise of you. Or he's a wise person. Wisdom is associated, this goes all the way back even to the biblical tradition, like in the book of Proverbs or in the book of Sirach. They're the wisdom books. And really what they're interested in is giving life advice, giving giving advice about how to make decisions correctly. That's exactly what practical wisdom is. Practical wisdom is about good decisions, okay? And interestingly, for Aristotle, there's a presupposition here. And in a strange way, human beings are these weird beings. We have a kind of responsibility to our life that no other animal seems to have. We make choices in a different way. It's not that animals don't make choices, but animals don't seem to bear the same kind of responsibility that we do for our decisions. And the example I always give in class, it's a bit vulgar, but I always say in class, if I brought my dog's name, by the way, is Aristotle. She's a little Maltese. She's not here with me now. Or if I brought my parrot, he's upstairs sleeping. If I brought him to class, maybe I should get him for the video. If I brought him to class, or my parrot or my dog, and my parrot goes to the bathroom every, I think, 10 minutes. And if I brought him to class, he would likely go to the bathroom, or Aristotle, my dog, would like to go to the bathroom. And if I started yelling at them and reasoning with them, saying, how could you do this? You know better than this. You'd all think I was a bit strange. However, if I was in class and one of you decided to come up here and just go to the bathroom right in the class, everyone would look, what the hell are you doing? In other words, I'm assuming you have more responsibility than animals do to some extent. Even when we see these terrible things where pet chimpanzees or pet lions attack, we don't really blame the animal because we recognize that they have choice. They have choice, but in a different way. They don't bear the kind of moral responsibility for their choices that human beings do. And given that we have choice in a different way, right, that means we bear responsibility. Aristotle's all about the moral responsibility we have with our own existence. In some sense, our existence is to be moral creatures and to bear responsibly our own existence. Aristotle's all about responsibility. Existentialist philosopher Martin Heidegger says the human being is this strange being in that the human being is the only being that has its being to be. That is, our being is a problem for us. It's a question, a burden. Its existence is a problem that needs to be solved. In other words, and it's solved through our choices. And it's worked out through our choices. Existence is a problem that's worked out through our choices. Aristotle couldn't agree with this more. Existence is all about the decisions we make, the choices we make. And making good decisions and making wise decisions are all about what ethics is about for Aristotle. Is all about what ethics is about. Remember, you can have a kind of science for this, okay? And so given that ethics is wisdom about choices or wisdom about decisions, Aristotle wants to analyze in the first book what choice is. He's like, let's start there. What is choice? Let's look at the structure of choice. What does it mean that human beings make choices? And we'll pick this up in the next video, but here's what I want you to know or understand is, for Aristotle, human beings are unique in their ability to make choices. And making correct choices or right choices is what wisdom is all about. And so we have to start then by analyzing choice and the structure of choice.